रिकॉर्डिंग शुरू हो गई।
जियो स्टार्ट करूं? कंफर्म है? सही। बाकी सारा डिलीट कर दूंगा। अभी तो ये तेरी अभी है तेरी
नहीं मेड अम्मी गल नहीं
जियो।
कुंडी लगा देते
अच्छा अब स्टार्ट करूं?
करो।
So by the end of this one video, I can guarantee you that you'll be able to design this really high quality and attractive thumbnail of Iman Ghazi. And regardless, even if you're a complete beginner at thumbnails, you will still be make a thumbnail of this quality. Because in this tutorial, I have personally simplified each and every step from changing Iman's code color to making the background look from something like this to making this really attractive red investment graph. So without wasting any time, let's start with the tutorial. So we're going to start with creating a new Photoshop document and make sure that you set the width to 1280 pixels and the height to 720 pixels. And just make sure that the rest of these values of your matches mine, just to avoid any inconveniences while you following this tutorial. Click on OK. And now in this case, and now in step number one, we're going to add in our subject image. And in this case, I'm going to bring in this image, which is basically a different thumbnail of Iman Ghazi. And I'm going to extract our subject image and hide the background from this image. So for that, I'm going to go to the select tab and select subject from here. And now what's going to happen is Photoshop is going to auto select our subject. And now what's going to happen is that Photoshop is going to auto select our subject from this image.
वीडियो को स्पीड अप कर सकते
Yes. Now, once the selection has been made, you're just going to quickly zoom in on different parts, just to make sure that the selection done has been. And now, once the selection has been made, you're going to quickly zoom in on different parts. And now, once the selection has been made, you're just going to give it a
quick glance,
detailed look, a detailed glance.
quick detailed look ही कह लो detail.
Now, once the selection has been made, you're going to give it a. Now, once the selection has been made, you're going to give it a detailed look, just to make sure that Photoshop hasn't selected some parts that you don't really want in your selection, or maybe it hasn't selected some parts that you want in your selection. Like in this case, we've got this part. Now, to remove this part, you're going to go to the. Let's say,
मुझे तो नहीं
मेरा नंबर व्हाट्सएप बंद हुआ तो
आ जाओ ठीक है.
Like now, to remove this part, I'm going to go to the quick selection tool. And remember, to remove any part from your selection, you're going to drag over that part while holding the Alt key. Once you're satisfied, you're going to look around other parts, just to make sure the selection is accurate enough. And now this part, Photoshop hasn't selected this part, but I want it to be in my selection. So
नजर नहीं आएगा ना, ये तुम्हारी वीडियो तो नहीं नजर आएगी.
कौन सी?
जो तुम्हारी वीडियो हो रही है,
हाँ,
तो फिर वो ये कैसे देखेगा?
कौन?
जब तुम फिर से सेलेक्ट करोगे, क्या वो इसी तरह सेलेक्ट करेगा हर बार, जैसा से हर बार करता है, या उसकी सिलेक्शन टूल थोड़ी सी फर्क होगी? अगर तुम ये चीज़ें डिस्क्राइब करोगे तो काम में तो नहीं आएगी वीडियो में.
अच्छा इत्तेफाक से ये इसी तरह सेलेक्ट करते हैं, क्योंकि थंबनेल मैंने 8 बार बनाए प्रैक्टिस के
तो
लिए,
हर बार इसी तरह ट्राई करो.
और हर बार एक कॉलर छोड़ देते
ठीक
हैं.
है ठीक है.
बची पॉइंट पकड़ी. Now to add in this color, once again I'm going to have the quick selection tool selected and I'm going to drag over this part. Now remember, to add in any part to your selection, you're going to simply drag over that part without specifically holding any other key. Once you're done and you're satisfied with the selection, you're simply going to click on the mask button. And now what's going to happen is the part that you have kept inside of your selection is going to remain visible, while the rest of this part is going to become temporarily hidden. Why I say temporarily hidden? Because if you go back to this mask layer and go select your brush tool and select white color from here, simply by brushing over any part, you're going to bring in that part back into your selection, I guess. क्या हुआ?
कुछ नहीं.
Now to add in our background image, I'm going to be using this image, which I got basically by searching for dark room background images on Google Images. I'm going to bring it below our subject layer. And now, this next step alone is going to make your thumbnails look so much more aesthetically pleasing, and it's also going to increase the impact of your thumbnail. And I'm just going to show it to you.
मैं एंड बोलने की बहुत ज़्यादा आदत है. तुम हर कुछ लफ्ज़ बाद एंड बोलोगे, ये नोटिस करना.
हाँ वो पता है मुझे, लेकिन मैं वैसे देखता हूँ कि जिस भी क्रिएटर को मैं देखता हूँ वो एक वर्ड बहुत, तो कोई मसला तो नहीं पड़ता इससे.
वो नहीं, जनरली नहीं, डिपेंड करता है कितना ज़्यादा बोलते हो. कि अगर तुम हर जुमले के शुरू में बोलोगे, अगर कोई नोटिस करना चाहता है करेगा.
हाँ लेकिन एटलीस्ट कोई मसला तो नहीं होगा उसको.
नहीं ठीक है, फिर करते रहो, कंटिन्यू करना. मैं बस कह रहा हूँ अगर तुम्हें नोटिस हुआ, फॉर एग्जाम्पल जब मुझे नोटिस होता है मुझे उससे इशू होता है, मैं काटता हूँ, मैं अपनी स्क्रिप्ट बदलता हूँ. तो अगर तुम्हें नहीं होता तो फिर ठीक है, रख लो.
Like मैं भी बोलता हूँ, so in the next step, so in the next वो
हाँ.
I'm going to convert it to a smart object and go to the filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and I'm going to add a Gaussian blur of about 5 pixels. And now to make this background darken, now to darken this background, I'm going to go to the adjustment layers and add a hue and saturation layer from here. I'm going to reduce the lightness to somewhere between minus 75 to 80 pixels. Remember, it's minus 75 to 80 pixels, not 75 to 80. Once done, so this is how our thumbnail is looking so far, more specifically our background, and this is how it looked before. So we can clearly see the difference. It looks so much more better. I'm going to just quickly
more हटा दो जुमले से. so much more pleasing कह दो या so much better कह दो, दोनों ठीक है.
so much more नहीं.
more better एक लफ्ज नहीं.
I'm going to just adjust our subject more to the left side of the canvas.
फिर भी more भी ये more का भी टेक करता हूँ.
असली में 5-6 लफ्ज सीखे इंग्लिश में, उनसे पूरा वीडियो रिकॉर्ड करने जा रहा हूँ.
यही तो, इसलिए मैं मेरी स्क्रिप्ट करने की ये भी हो जाती है, क्योंकि मेरे भी टेक्स होते हैं. मैं लाइक कभी बहुत ज़्यादा बोलूँगा, मैं बेसिकली बहुत ज़्यादा बोलूँगा. वो दो चीज़ें होती है, तो मुझे जो अगर तुम्हें तंगी नहीं होती ठीक है, मुझे तंगी होती है तो मैं कहता हूँ नहीं, मैं इनको काट रहा हूँ.
And now in the next step we're going to start designing this red investment graph, this whole unit. So for that, once again, I'm going to go to a new layer and I'm going to create the vertical base and the horizontal base